Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back here to the channel, guys, for another video. And in today's video we are going to be going over something very different indeed. This is a different kind of video for me. I'm basically going to come here today and give you some of my raw opinions really on this subject, which I briefly touched on in previous videos, but in this video I'm going to be going over it in a lot more detail. The situation with Gerard Pique, with the celebration, with the Espanyol insults in the derby on Sunday, and also in this video Samuel Umtiti, the racism, the incidents, and everything that comes with that, and most importantly, what exactly La Liga are doing about this, which is basically absolutely nothing. And the real outrage, I think, in the comments from Javier Tebas, the president of La Liga, the way that he has come out, the way that he has publicly handled these incidents is absolutely ridiculous. So in this video, it's basically going to be a lot of me, a lot of my opinions, but I just want to know what you guys think, because at the end of the day, we've all got opinions, but I think on this one, and this is not with my Barca tinted glasses on, from an outside looking in, not only about Barca, but about racism in Spain in general, and also incidents in Spain in general, in any way. In any single way, not just racism, but I think in general, La Liga and its standards and its morals is way behind other big leagues like the Premier League. The Premier League, you say what you like about it, I'm not the biggest fan, but it's run very well. It's completely transparent, there's nothing murky behind the scenes, but with La Liga, that's the thing about it. The football is fantastic, the teams are brilliant, but behind the scenes, you've still got a lot of things there that really aren't clear. From the outside looking in, there's a lot of dodgy things going on behind the scenes, and especially supporting Barcelona. Obviously, Catalan want to become independent. I don't like going into politics, but you have to feel like behind some of these decisions definitely lies things that surround that. I'm just going to start with the basic facts with what we're dealing with here. Obviously on Sunday, Barcelona and Espanyol played out a 1-1 draw at the Cornellà El Prat. And basically, it was a very hostile atmosphere. It was very hostile inside the stadium. Fans of both teams, obviously very fired up for this game. The players too. And look, I'm not saying by any means take that away. This is a derby match. This is a rivalry. I can absolutely understand a lot of atmosphere, a lot of desire to win. I wouldn't want it any other way, but you have to know where you draw the line. You draw the line when it comes to insulting behaviour. And look, I'm not talking about fans to players, because you get it anywhere you go in the country, any match you see, you will see opposition fans getting on the back, sometimes even their own team, but you'll see them getting on the back of opposition players, giving them insults, and that's part and parcel of the game. That's what happens on the pitch, and you can all understand that. But it's again, when you draw the line, and when you're talking about insults that aren't directed at the players, but the player's family, the player's girlfriend, the player's children, that is absolutely unacceptable, not only in football, but in any way of life in general. Because you guys know, if it's an insult directed at you, you can take it, you can laugh it off, you can say whatever you want. But if it's actually an insult that's directed at somebody very close to you, that tends to hurt a lot more. That tends to really rile you just that bit more, because they're very close to you. It's not specifically about you, but it's about them, and that should not be happening. And I can tell you now, there were insults inside that stadium from the Espanyol crowd, directed at Pique himself right throughout the game, directed at Shakira, his girlfriend, directed at his children, his family, and like I say, absolutely unacceptable. Players getting insulted, making it very personal, and that shouldn't be happening. And what I want to say now is what Javier Tebas, the La Liga president, came out and said to the public yesterday. And genuinely, when I was reading these comments, and these are absolutely official quotes, these are legitimate quotes, I was raging reading this. I was shaking with anger, because this is what he came out and said as a response to those chants towards Pique's family and his girlfriend. Before Pique scored the goal, nobody was insulting himself or his family. Pique should not have celebrated in this manner. There was no insults at all before the goal. So he simply brushed it off as, oh, they only started insulting him after the goal, so who really cares? There was nothing in there at all that condoned the chants, and not only that, what absolute rubbish. There was chants before the goal, and not even in this game, there was a chance before. There has been chants against Pique for many years now from the Espanyol fans. Very personal things indeed. This isn't just something that stems from one game. This has been going on for several years. So for Tebas to come out and sort of brush it off as, oh, it's okay, it was only after the goal, it was only because of the celebration, so that's absolutely fine. What absolutely ridiculous thing to say. And it actually gets worse, because not only is he absolutely taken no action against that. And not only is he going to be taking no action against the racism that I'm going to mention in just a few minutes, he then goes on to say, actually, Gerard Pique could himself be punished for the celebration. His provocative gesture made the fans react in that way. We should avoid celebrations that irritate people, and for that reason, it'll be up to an independent committee to decide whether Pique is punished for this celebration. He actually goes on there to basically say, well, Pique actually is the man here who should be punished. He makes the celebration, it's all his own fault, and instead of doing something about the real problem with the crowd trouble, you're going to target a celebration, which, by the way, many people have done this before. Every single player throughout their career, I think, certainly strikers, will have at some point put their finger to their lips and shushed the opposition crowd. That's something that happens all over the country, and Pique did it in the same manner. There was nothing offensive, he made no gestures, he made nothing with his hands, no swearing, anything like that, nothing offensive. It was simply one finger to the lips, shushing the crowd simply because, why don't you quiet now with your insults, I've just scored a goal. It was basically that simple. And it's not only that, Raul himself scored at the Camp Nou, and that goal is basically famous for that celebration. And the way you can look at this is, it's one rule for one team and it's one rule for Barcelona. There's Barcelona and then there's a rule for everybody else in the league. And La Liga's official YouTube channel actually have that Raul goal on their channel, and the title is Raul silences the Camp Nou, with that celebration in the thumbnail. They're basically selling that goal on the celebration, yet Pique does it. Oh, suddenly he might be punished. Was Raul punished? Was anybody else punished at the celebration? Absolutely not. And that's what I mean. When you look at La Liga, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that for me, they're just not quite right. And I'm not even done yet. I'm not even done yet talking about this absolute clown that has somehow found himself in charge of La Liga. I'm sure you all know Javier Tebas. It is official. He is a Real Madrid fan, like I even needed to tell you. Judging by these actions, you can see exactly what his motives are. That's all I'll say into that. But now we come on to the racism of Samuel Umtiti, which for me is one of the biggest problems with La Liga in terms of the way they deal with racism. It is something that happens quite frequently, and like I said at the start of the video, this isn't specifically about Barcelona. This is about something that is a wider issue, not only in La Liga but football in general. When it happens, it needs to be stamped out. And Samuel Umtiti in the Espanyol game was subject of racist chants also from the crowd. The crowd were an issue with the chants that they made against Umtiti, and also he was subject of racial abuse from Sergio Garcia, the Espanyol striker. Now, after the game, Sergio Garcia released a post on Instagram, which I have to say looked an awful lot like Iago Aspas's apology when he was also accused of racism just a few weeks ago. Garcia claimed he wasn't a racist because his girlfriend was a gypsy and his brother-in-law is an African American. That was basically his apology and his stance on why he wasn't a racist. What absolute rubbish. That is not an apology, that is not an excuse, that is not an explanation. What he has come out there is absolute rubbish. And like I say, Iago Aspas came out, said exactly the same thing. What have La Liga done from a few weeks ago? Absolutely nothing. La Liga are more worried about punishing a celebration for a finger to the lips than they are worrying about racism. Nothing at all has been done about this incident. The referee noted it in his official report. It has been noted. There was an altercation. Umtiti had to be restrained. Obviously, he was very, very angry with Sergio Garcia after what was said. Pique was there as well. And the problem is as well, obviously, for me, La Liga solely to blame on this. Javier Tebas should not be in his job. He should not be in his position, given who he is, given what he says. He should not be running this league, because for me, he's running their morals, their reputation straight into the ground. But also, our board are to blame here. They are massively to blame here, simply because the Barcelona board have yet to make an official complaint because of the Umtiti insults. They have not actually submitted anything yet officially to the league about these insults, and I have no idea why. The club, in these kind of moments, the board need to be standing up for the players, they need to be backing the players, they need to be really protecting them. And why have they not made the official complaint? Why have they not come out with La Liga and spoken about this openly and publicly? Javier Tebas is happy enough to come out and slate Pique, slate the club. He said things in the past which I don't even want to go into right now. The video isn't long enough because honestly I could make this a series about him, but he said things in the past which are also unacceptable. So why are the club now, regardless of what the consequence will be, they should be standing up and talking, backing Umtiti, backing Pique and officially really saying, this is what happened, do something about it. And that's the problem with me. Bartomeu, this has happened in the past. There's been political things which he hasn't really stood firm on. He hasn't backed the fans. He hasn't backed the players. This is not the first time. The club need to be stronger and they need to be more vocal about these kind of things. If you're going to put an end to it, if you're going to really stamp it out, you need everybody to be united. And in these kind of moments, you need your own club backing the players. And I've no idea why they haven't made an official complaint and why they're not really getting onto La Liga about these kind of incidents, about the investigation going on because of Pique. We've seen it a few years ago where they originally failed to back Lionel Messi, and it has happened in the past, and it shouldn't be happening. So like I said, guys, I'm sure you're not really used to this video from me, and obviously it does take a lot to anger me, but like I said, I was reading these comments yesterday from Tebas, and it's not right. It is honestly not right that somebody in this kind of power has this kind of authority, and he basically seems to be just running the league on what he sees fit. Is there anybody who can say to him, hang on a minute, that's not really how you should be running this? There should be more than one person involved in these kind of decisions, and I just think he's running it clearly with some kind of agenda, and I really do believe that. And like I say, La Liga, I've grown up watching it my whole life. I've enjoyed every single match that I've sat down and watched. It's a league that provides an incredible amount of entertainment. It has some of the best teams in the world, but they let themselves down when it comes to basic human questions, decisions. They do not make the right calls, and they are not policing this league in the right way. And that, for me, is where it falls down. The Premier League, like I say, if you're looking at that, if La Liga wants to become the best league in the world, you know, they've got no goal line technology. And that's another thing as well, just while we're on the subject, like I say, I really could write a book about it, and if you're interested in purchasing that book, please do let me know in the comments down below. But after the game against Alaves, you know, we maybe got away with something with the handball, maybe Pique's goal went in off a hand as well. Tebas comes out after the game. The only time that he talks publicly about not having technology, he says, oh, if we were to have the technology, maybe Barcelona wouldn't have won today, maybe we would have got some different decisions. When the ball was clearly over the line against Valencia that cost us 2 points, where was Tebas? Nowhere to be seen. Hiding in his cave, under the rocks, wherever he was not being seen and wasn't talking about it. You know why? Because it didn't include Real Madrid, and because it would have favoured Barcelona, and believe me, the league don't want that happening. So just let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. Like I say, I don't usually get this riled up, I don't usually get this angry about things, but reading that yesterday, when you're insulting our own players, our board are failing to back them, so I thought I would actually do a video here and really try and get your thoughts and try and back our players. That's what we need to do, and that's what we all need to unite together, and we'll see where we go with it. But thank you as always for watching, guys. Apologies obviously for this out of character video, but I know you all wanted to know about this situation. I just thought I'd give you my opinion and some facts from what Tebas said and the lunacy really that came out of his mouth. So I'll see you soon, guys. Thank you as always for joining me, even though it wasn't in brilliant conditions. I'll see you soon, but until then, as always, Vesca El Barça! Barça! Barça!